Welcome to Climate Briefing's climate change news headlines for the week ending Friday the 16th of June 2017. This week, the head of the US Environmental Protection Agency, Scott Pruitt, only attended the first day of a G7 meeting in Italy concerning the environment. At odds with the other 6 nations, America refused to back multilateral development banks which help poorer nations reduce their pollution emissions. The US also declined to sign a statement promising adherence to the Paris Climate Agreement. The Canadian Environment Minister, McKenna, said that the US had now lamentably become a footnote to climate action, and she underlined that everyone expressed their deep disappointment with the US decision. On a more positive note, the state of California has said that, as well as working with China, it is teaming up with Germany, Europe's largest economy, to cooperate on tackling climate change. Also, American federal officials announced on Wednesday that wind and solar energy accounted for more than 10% of America's power generation for the first time in March. Wind and solar power capacity has been growing in the United States, having accounted for about 7% of electricity in 2016. Apple, which issued its first green bond in 2016 in recognition of the signing of the Paris Climate Agreement, is now, in reaction to America leaving the pact, issuing a second green bond worth $1 billion. The tech giant said proceeds from the bond will be dedicated to financing clean energy and environmental projects. The European Parliament has voted in favour of setting binding targets for cutting greenhouse gas emissions across its member states. The targets will help the EU pursue their Paris Climate Agreement commitments and realise their overall goal of cutting emissions to at least 40% below 1990 levels by the year 2030. Around 220,000 drivers from the Netherlands and the UK have joined forces to seek compensation payments from Volkswagen over the Dieselgate emissions scandal. The German car maker has admitted that around 11 million cars worldwide were fitted with software to cheat emissions tests, and it has agreed to pay out up to $25 billion to cover claims in the United States. To date, Volkswagen has offered to update the software in European cars. Over the 3-year period of 2014 to 2016, a slowdown in global energy demand has helped reduce the acceleration rate of greenhouse gas emissions to levels of acceleration not seen since the 1980s. A report published by BP stated that China's energy consumption fell to its lowest level in nearly 2 decades, and globally, coal's share in the energy mix dropped to its lowest level since 2004. However, emissions worldwide are still well above the level needed to limit temperature rises in line with the Paris Climate Agreement. This has been a Climate Briefing News Roundup. The in-depth stories behind these headlines can be found at climatebriefing.org.